Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap P.O.D., Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike Money's killers might even make the evening news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping! Buzz Sports Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome into Last Call here with Pub Sports Radio. It's Wednesday, May the 29th, 6 p.m. Eastern. You already know what we're getting into tonight. We're busting up these bookies. We got a big card of Major League Baseball. No NBA, but that's all right. WNBA has been treating us right. We're going to get into the NHL as well. It's a big game. Edmonton, do or die. Second game back here at home in Edmonton, trying to beat up them Dallas Stars. We're going to talk about it all tonight, you guys. Hope you're ready to go. Smash that thumbs up button for us. Help us kick this thing off. You guys did a terrific job yesterday with the thumbs up, and it means a ton. Almost got to 100. I know we had almost 200 views on the show, almost got to 100. Half y'all got to get up in there and hit that thumbs up button, and the other half are doing a great job. So let's keep growing this show, this channel, this community. We all got to work together to get it done, and it's a lot of fun to be here sitting on the camera to talk to you guys about the plays I have tonight. So very excited about the direction we're heading. Summer is here. We're underway. We got ourselves, a couple more weeks of NHL and NBA. That's going to be them dog days of summer, but we're getting ready with the MLB, and we're just heating up. We had ourselves a nice night last night, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll recap. Then we'll jump in. We'll hit this NHL game real quick, and then we'll move into Major League Baseball and finish off with the WNBA. A lot to do. You guys already know the deal. We got a lot to get to, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. So we got to get moving here, you guys. 3 things we ask you to do when it comes to Pub Sports Radio. Smash that thumbs up button. Let them know where you're spending your time. Where do you get your quality information when it comes time to get those last-minute bets? And it's right here. Hit that thumbs up button. Grab a pen and paper. You're going to want to write down what we share here today. Full day of plays, not just from the guest on the screen, but, of course, our chat is the sharpest chat in the business. When they talk, you want to listen. Make sure you take down these notes. A lot of good tidbits, a lot of good stats, a lot of good injury analysis, all kinds of great stuff flowing through this chat. So you're going to want to take note when it's getting out there. And, of course, last but not least, you guys, throw those plays into the chat so we can see your hard work as well. Let's see. You guys have an all day to marinate with this card here. Granted, we did have afternoon baseball, but that doesn't mean we aren't ready to go and fire these bullets tonight. Let's see what's doing up in this chat. You already know. Joe T's the first guy up in there chatting, giving us a comment there. He says, hey, Mike M, let's get that cash. What's up? NHL best bet first period, over 1.5, and both teams to score out there. For our guy Joe T, that's going to be plus money. He's got the Brewers first 5 and the Brewers full game. He says, F the Cubs. F the Cubs from our guy Joe T, sitting up there. Hope you're enjoying yourself on the shores of the lakes of Minnetonka. My guy says, go Timberwolves. David Wallace is on Baltimore money line and the Astros money line for David Wallace. And, of course, our guy Gerald Jones is up in the house. Says, what's good, pub? And best bet Yankees run line for our guy Gerald Jones. David Wallace likes that Yankees run line as well, as do I. We'll be talking about that game. Kelsey's up in the house, says, hey, what up, Kelsey? It's good to see you in there. Deer Slayer Ski says, LFG, boys, what's good, Mikey? Justin McKelvey, my guys in the house. And, of course, Kelsey shouting out the girls as well. Says, last call, get your drinks. Let's give the bookies a bloody nose, guys. Absolutely. That sounds fantastic tonight, doesn't it? Old East says, Justin McKelvey just kicked my boots off, fixing to twist something so big, NASA called and requested a filet play. Nice job, Oldie. That's the early comment of the show here, my guy. Appreciate you. Joe Freeze in the house says, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you, Joe. And there's Jay Peasy in the house says, what up, mother puckas? Watching these Phillies smash cards smashed. Just need these Dodgers to come through. I need the Mets in the over in that game. I need the Mets in the over for a big, I think it was a plus 400 score. So Hate to be on the other side, JPZ. It didn't look good for me early, but we're coming back. We're fighting. Winner's Circle says, AO, Guardians, Giants money line, Texas hockey money line for our guy Winner's Circle. Kenny Wood says, what's up, Mike and gang? And Kelsey says, smash the effing like button, or she gonna bloody your nose. She didn't say the bloody your nose part, but I threw that in there for her. So Nasty Nate, a.k.a. Mr. Trifecta, a.k.a. the mechanic out there, says, Red Sox smash here for our guy, Nasty Nate. Juggler 23 giving us an NHL trend of the night. Here's a little special treat from our guy. The Juggler 23 says Dallas is 87-40, plus 34 units against the spread versus Edmonton since 1996. Oh, that's a damn good trend right there. Holy cow. Oldie gifting a Pub Sports membership. Shout out to you, Oldie, coming in here on the regular, helping us, giving us your wisdom, giving us your hard looks, giving us your hard-earned cash here, helping us grow this community, my guy. Shout out to you, Old E, gifting a membership, blessing our evening action before we even get underway. Shout out to Old E. Let's go. I see Joe Free says MLB season. It's just, we're getting around the corner. We're in the second quarter of MLB, in my estimation at this point. Joe Free, it's going to be go time soon. Josh Lower 34 says McDaniels left me 1-3 short. Unbelievable. You know what's funny is I went back to look specifically thinking about you with that, Josh. I went back to see how many. You know what? Luka got his threes, but I don't know if anybody else got the three as I was kind of looking down the scorecard last night. My guy Subhuman Gaucho in the house says, what's up, Mikey? And good dude right there. You know, go follow my guy on X. He's got that play out there. The Subhuman Gaucho hockey play of the day is available on the regular from our guy Subhuman Gaucho. Winner's Circle says T, of course. Shout out to T on the ones and twos. Best guy in the business to do it out there. Keeps it tight and right. Keeps us moving like a well-oiled machine. Shout out to my guy T. Kelsey says Mikey is the bestest. Appreciate you, Kelsey. Coin Cincy under 8.5. Get San Diego under 8.5 and Arizona money lines out there. Yeah, Arizona money line did take a big thumbs down on my book today as well. Mitch Morber says, what? Who? Let me start that. I don't know why I was looking. I saw birthday again. I was like, what? Who's your up too early today? I took Boston again. I used it on the Nationals. The Nationals is my up too early. We'll talk about that momentarily. Kelsey said, you said marinated. Now I'm hungry. And question Oilers, Mikey. We'll talk about the NHL as well. Big bounce back opportunity. Nasty Nate says Marlins smashing. They sure are. They sure are. They're smashing that waffle is what they're doing. They're smashing it up into a ball of pancake batter, I guess, at this point. JP says, I don't know if I really capped based on stats from 20 years ago. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mike LFGLOL. What up, Peter Gracia? It's great to see you, man. Appreciate you coming in. Migrate on over to YouTube, my guy. We're doing it all up here on the regular. It's great to see you, though, as well. Oldie says, Subhuman Gaucho. Shout out, G. J. Stone says, Stankoven, first period anytime goal, plus 1,600. Hintz, first period anytime goal, plus 800. Every period individually as well. Peter says, let's slap the pimp, Mikey. Let's go. Juggler 23 giving us that wise guy overnight action. Mystics plus 5. You see, he got that big dub last night. 7-4 now for our guy Juggler 23 with the wise guy overnight WA action. The line move, but BetMGM still has a 3.5 out there for them Mystics. I got 2 NBA plays, 2 WNBA plays tonight, I should say. Kelsey says that Nasty Nate, Mr. Trifecta, Red Sox tonight for sure. Question mark. Viper MB in the house. What up, Viper MB? It's good to see you, my guy. Sub says up here in northern Michigan for the weekend. Beautiful scenery. Really enjoying myself. My God, getting after it. Let's go. Keith says, hey, Mikey, let's cash these plays. I like the Royals Twins over 7.5. Keith, great to see you, my guy. Kelsey says, thank you for the membership, Subhuman Gaucho, my guy. Let's go. Gifted and growing, baby. Let's get it done. Jeffrey Dahmer. No one loves a slippery nipple more than me. Well, that may be true. That may be true. I'm not sure. Nasty Nate says, took the Red Sox first 3. Sub says, cheers, Kelsey. Glad to see you end up with that. Great having you around. Shout out to my guy, Subhuman Gaucho. What a hell of a dude in general. Pleasure to get to know that guy, hang out with him on screen, do some live betting, sweating together with my guy, Subhuman Gaucho. Hell hell of it, dude. And shout out to Grandma as well. Subhuman Gaucho. Marcus McCarthy says, the pimp. What up, Marcus? Good to see you. Let's roll. Nasty Nate says, Red Sox win and Devers home run is plus 1,100. That's a nice look there for my guy, Nasty Nate. And Subhuman Gaucho, there it is. We ask, we shall receive. The Subhuman Hockey play of the day is the first of 5 shots on goal. Oilers minus 120. You can see the work my boy is doing right there. Just my 2 cents in the house. What up? Says, sup, boys? Good to see you. Just my 2 cents. Kelly V says, hey, peeps, want to hear Kelsey's killer play of the day? Yeah, I'd like to hear that. Let's go. David Wallace says, I'm with you on the Nationals up too early. They capped me. It's almost, I mean, I'm still going to use it. It's almost to the point where it's not worth it, but I'll still use it. The Futon Bet says, Lynx money line. Sup, buddy? Good to see you, Futon Bets. Appreciate you coming in here. Saturated says, Giants burning me. Need to get that investment back. Give me something good, Mikey. Saturated. We got you covered, my guy. And Oldie says, Subhuman Gaucho, you fuck with the NBA or negative. I'll tell you what, if he does, you better write it down and get to work with it there. Let's go. Let's get into this thing here. I'll give you guys just a quick rundown yesterday. We had a nice day yesterday. Nice. This is what I told you about Major League Baseball. You got to stretch it out wide. We took that Boston Red Sox, usually up too early. That thing cashed in the first inning. Game ends up being a big W for us, a plus 150. We had the Yankees team total first 5 over 2.5. By the graces of the good Lord himself, we got that cash out there. And words to kill me here. Arizona pitching change. You guys told me it was Eovaldi and not Dunning, and I was like, fuck it, and I took the L. Arizona lost, plus money spot, but we double dipped on that St. Louis Cardinals game. The Cards won at plus 115, and the Cards in the under 9.5 won at plus 300. Yeah, that's right. That's what we do up here on Last Call. Toronto over 7.5 cash for us. I'm still blown away now. Gausman 5-1 in his last 6 starts. I told Jimmy the Bag earlier today, maybe I'm just early to the Gausman regression party. So 5-1 is a hell of a number for that guy, though. Toronto over 7.5 cash. And then I added Kansas City. It was a loser. Florida in regulation broke my heart. Took the L, but good live betting spot. Florida came back to get the job done, even though I'd like them Rangers to win this series. Dallas blew it. But Luka triple-double at plus 350 got us that cash. That's the roll right there. That's how we do it there. We take the big swings. We try to stack them up high and let them fly. And, hey, we swing and we miss, but we don't have to swing and hit that often to be profitable when it comes to those good numbers. Let's roll on, you guys, here. Let's get into tonight's card. I told you we'll start off with the NHL. Just the one game here. It's a big game. It's an 8:30 start. We got ourselves some time before we move into Major League Baseball and the WNBA. We'll keep a brisk pace today so we can get all this in, get your guys action in, put the bow on the show, and get everybody moving on to hump day here. It's Wednesday, May 29th, and we got this Dallas Stars, Edmonton Oilers battle. Ottinger and what looks to be, again, going back to Stuart Skinner. He's been struggling, man. What a struggle. As a matter of fact, not only is, we talked about this before. They've got the Picard option. I don't think they can go to Picard in this game here. I don't know. Let me double check and make sure that they haven't officially made that a decision, because I just think this is, season on the line right now. It's not. No, it's not. It's Ottinger still unconfirmed, but Skinner in the net. And look, not his finest hour. 4 goals on 21 shots that last game out there. Bad situation, and Edmonton had it rolling early. They came out firing, just like we talked about. We had Edmonton in the first period. We had Edmonton in the full game. It was Dallas that just kept battling to get the job done. I don't expect Dallas to rest on their heels in this game. Still think they'll be in a position to go out there and fight, but we look at Skinner. He's got an 88.5% save percentage through 13 playoff games, down from his 91% on the regular season. So he is very much struggling. Then I looked at how he does kind of traditionally against Dallas, and he's around an 89.5% save percentage against Dallas throughout the course of his career. So, he's probably a little bit lower than where he should be overall. I mean, he's still a percentage point down, but I think he's still got an opportunity to get it done here. The problem, and where I think Edmonton's got to focus here tonight, think about this as you're looking at player props. By the way, we hammered them player props last night. Told you about Trocheck, first guy to get the goal. Of course, he goes out there. We talked about the shots on goals and saving those, just a great night overall for kind of some of those plays that were being called out there. But that was kind of just the carnival bets that Billy Briz and I were talking about. Let me look at this game, though, and it is do or die. Right now, the playoffs, Edmonton, when it comes to regular strength, they're terrible. They're 12th of the 16 teams that made the playoffs this postseason. They got to generate some type of power plays out there and get it rolling. Just 4 power play chances over the last 2 games. So I do expect them to try to, go out there and draw and generate more penalties. How they're going to do that, that's going to be yet to be determined. But think about that as you're starting to play some of your player prop, whether they be points or assists or goals. If it's Edmonton, it's got to be a power play. They just got to get it going. They're not going to win this game on regular strength. So, maybe they'll make some dives. Maybe they'll go out there and, see the phantom trip across the blue line, hoping to generate the tripping penalty and go on that 5-on-4 situation. I don't know. But I do like Edmonton in this game here. The guy that's stepping up right now, and this is kind of the thing that we talked about last series. There was some concern that maybe Connor McDavid was dealing with some type of a nagging injury out there. In the last 2 games, even 3 games out there now, what are we seeing from this guy? He's shooting more. The shots are harder, and he's scoring more goals. He's got 2 goals in his last 3 games. He shot the puck 11 times. And if you look at his career against Dallas, he does have 5 goals in 10 games against the Dallas Stars as of late. So definitely going to be, I think, the key piece to this team pulling away and getting this victory tonight. No more passing around and hooking up, Hyman and Nurse and everybody else. Now it's your time, Bouchard and the gang. McDavid's got to step up. McDavid's anytime goal priced at plus 155. His first goal scoring opportunity out there is priced at plus 1,000. But I would look to some power play points for these guys as well. McDavid's plus 155 is not too shabby. Maybe you parlay that with Edmonton as well. I'm on the Oilers. I've got him at minus 135. Not the best number in the world either out there, but I do believe in this case here, it'll be hard to hold Connor McDavid down back-to-back games out there. I think that, I still like Edmonton to beat Dallas. I'm not backing off of that situation, but it's probably going to be game 7 at this point. They need this win tonight. Again, it is do or die. We look at the goaltender. Everybody's got to play just a little bit harder. That last game, that was their 3rd home loss of the playoffs. It'll also be, it would be their first back-to-back losses at home if they lose tonight. So I don't expect it to happen. There's a reason these guys don't have any of those 2-in-a-row losses at home. I think Edmonton steps up here tonight, gets the job done. Going to be comfortable. I hope it's comfortable. But I expect to be sweating that thing out. Just a matter, like I said, think about those player points in relation to, power play advantages, because they're going to be trying to go out there, diving, ducking, dodging, doing everything they can to generate them odd man opportunities to get things rolling. That's the way I see this game, you guys. Let's go. Kelsey says, I got the Oilers at minus 130. Justin's got the Edmonton team total over 3.5 in his pocket. Peter Gracia says, like Edmonton and McDavid is due. Joe Free says, Hyman goal is almost guaranteed at home. Well, never guaranteed, but he did score a lot at home. Maybe first goal as well. Yeah, that's not a bad look either. What's Hyman looking at here? Like a first goal scorer. Let me take a peek. And see what we've got here. Hyman, first goal scorer, plus 800. The lowest odds on the card. In fact, there's even some 650s out there. So it's Hyman, Draisaitl, then McDavid. The top 3 boys to be the first ones to get it done, being in an Edmonton Oilers uniform. Maybe not a bad idea to look for Edmonton to score first goal as well. Maybe there's a same game parlay that's brewing inside of those numbers that we just have to put our thumb on here. But that's the way I'm attacking it. I'm going to kind of keep that one short and sweet to play out. It's tough when you've just got the single game, both series. Same thing with the NBA. I mean, these lines are ultra tight. You're going to have to pay if you want to take this Edmonton spot. I didn't expect yesterday's game to go to overtime. I don't expect this one to do that either, but Dallas isn't quitting. Dallas isn't just rolling over because all of a sudden they're down in that game. So let's roll on. Trisha M in the house says, I cashed Hyman first goal last game. Not sure it hits 2 times in a row. And Subhuman Gaucho, he likes the first goal scorers, Robertson and Corey Perry. Subhuman's been on fire with his NHL predictions, but Subhuman, my guy. Fuck your Robertson spot there. We need Edmonton in this game, my guy. Kelsey says the Celtics win tomorrow. LOL JK. Let's go, guys. Let's get after it. So Futon Bet says both teams to score in the first period. I like that as well. Jeffy D says Corey Perry could end up being McDavid's stepdad. I don't know, man. I don't know. Juggler 23 says that's Subhuman Gaucho. Wide open hockey doesn't win in the NHL playoffs. And Sub says, why am I the only guy looking at the stars here? Look, I don't have the future on this Western Conference at all. You guys know my situation here. I just don't see Dallas. And here I am staring at it going, they're down, they're up 2-1. I still don't see Dallas out there. Joe Free says Hyman 2+ goals plus 700. Dustin in the house says I'm on the Stars tonight. Have them parlayed from Panthers yesterday. And Old E says Subhuman Gacho. I think the value is on the Stars for sure. Check the spreadsheet. Stars as a dog, they bark, but playoffs data is worthless. For what it's worth too, on the other side of that thing, one of the best road teams this NHL season. Dallas did the majority of their winning on the road, not at home. So for what it's worth, everybody's considering it. I get it. It's tough. It's a tight spot. I expect there to be a lot of split decisions here. And, we'll see how that game shapes out. Let's roll on. Let's keep this train moving here. We got some MLB action to get into, guys. First game on the docket. Let's see here. What do we have? This sucks. I got to flip between a couple different websites here. For whatever reason, my Microsoft Edge stopped working for my camera, but Google Chrome does. So I guess that's the way it has to be right now. Nonetheless, I put my notes in Google Chrome, in Microsoft Edge. Anyways, who cares? Let's talk about the Cubs and the Brewers here. First game for me on the docket. I think I screwed this order up too. 7:40 p.m. The Chicago Cubs, the Milwaukee Brewers. We got this line open up at -134. It's moved to -145. And we have 63% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the Cubs. Then we look over and we see Shoma Iyanaga coming out there with a .84 ERA, 5-0 on the season. And Wilson starting for them Brewers. We know Joe T already gave us the Brewers' first 5 and full game. He's getting behind that Milwaukee Brewers and their 31-23 record. Big spot here. What do we know about Iyanaga? Well, they had a rain delay the last time he was supposed to start. They just opted to sit him. Young guy, makes sense. Didn't seem like there was anything wrong with him per se. Just seemed like a good opportunity to give him a little bench time in the rotation. Undefeated, getting the run support behind it. Seemed like a good opportunity for them to give him the rest period, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially now as you look into this thing here. The Brewers, they were crushing lefties. That was definitely a thing to be concerned with there, but now they've dropped down to a 2.96 OBA against them lefties and a 25% strikeout rate right now. The past week, that number's even gone down lower to the .264. You guys know I talked about looking through a 7-day window, the last 7-day window or so, to kind of see what's exactly happening when it comes down to this. And the strikeout rate's going up even more as well. I think all of that with the rest of Iyanaga gives him a great opportunity to get the job done. I don't want to go out there and lay the -150. I can see this being a tight game, but I do like Iyanaga to get the win. It's priced at +115. So that was the way that I chose to attack that spot there with this game. I just think rested team versus the guys that are dipping in some of those metrics. We see the cash is coming in. It's kind of all signs point to go. We're starting to see with this total starting at 7.5 has moved to 8 with 95% of the bets and 94% of the cash on the over. Expecting there to be runs. If them runs get coming there, I expect them to come from the Cubs side of the ballpark there. I looked very closely at trying to jump in on this Cubs first 5 spot as well. But, Cubs first 5 is around a -1. If you take the -0.5, the Cubs first 5 is -110. I expect the Cubs to win the game. I'm just going to punt that down the road and say, just give me Iyanaga to get the win. That means he's got to get that W through the first 5. And it's going to be a nice little +115 spot. So we're turning that -1.5, -110 into a positive number, assuming that the bullpen doesn't blow up. But I think the Cubs bullpen, we talked about them yesterday. They've been playing pretty solid right now. I think they're in a decent shape to get the job done. So first official MLB play on the card. We're going to go with Shota to record the win. Show me some Shota at +115. Let's go. Saturated says, what's Imanaga's K ceiling? Well, he's priced at 6.5. And it's juicy. You got to lay some lumber on that 6.5. So, I would say 8 or 9. I would say 8 or 9 is probably a reasonable number for this guy to go out there and accomplish. Again, rested arm. So you got to keep that in mind with the downgrade on those Milwaukee bats out there. The K rates are going up. You could probably ladder that a little bit if you're willing to pay the juice or look at a same game parlay option. 6.5, 7.5, 8.5. You got to look at the break even point. Is he going to get to 10? I mean, certainly he could. I don't expect that to be the case there. But, they do say that when you look at Imanaga, they're saying that it's impressive what he's done because he doesn't seem to have the mechanics to deliver the numbers that he's performing with. So at some point in time, does the bubble burst? Probably. But I think with the rested arm, it's a good opportunity to back this guy and take a good swing at plus money. Keep this thing rolling, you guys. Game number 2 I've got on the card. I did fuck this order up. The Kansas City Royals and the Minnesota Twins. We got the Kansas City Royals open up at plus 100. They moved to plus 116. 25% of the bets, but 65% of the cash, like this Royals team. We got the totals moved up at 7.5. And if anything, it's actually shading to the under 7.5. It's even money for the over 7.5 right now. 96% of the bets and 96% of the cash. It's Uber and Lugo. Uber's an over. I've been saying this now for a minute. 4.33 ERA for this guy. 5-2 on the season. Was not happy about taking that out. I thought we had that read perfectly yesterday. We had the Twins as the spot on for game 1 of the series. Game 2 of the series, we were going to jump back because Kansas City was due for that little bounce back opportunity. But look, you guys have probably heard about it all day today. This is spot 4 Lugo on the road. The guy's killing it. Then we look at a couple other sub metrics in this game here. No more than 2 runs in an outing in 6 straight starts for Lugo. His K to walk rate, 47 strikeouts to 8 walks over 41 innings. He's well over that 1K per inning situation. All the things necessary to keep the scoring down for Minnesota. And then we look at the offense for Minnesota against right-handed pitching. And they're on a sell situation right now. They're below league average against right-handed pitching out there. We look at Uber. Uber played this Kansas City team previously. He didn't even make it to the second inning. He got crushed. He gave up 8 earned runs to them Royals in the first start of the season, first inning of the season for that guy there. I'm jumping in. I think Kansas City, I think Lugo's got their number. He's in the perfect situation, being on the road, seeing the downgrade opportunity for the bats with this Minnesota Twins team as well. First 5 and full game for me with this Kansas City spot. The full game for Kansas City is sitting at plus 116. The first 5 for Kansas City is sitting at plus 114. I think both those numbers are some great opportunities to go out there and get that cash. There was a number I wanted to jump out and talk about here. I know what it was. Good pitchers. And this is the Lugo opportunity. I just talked to you about his numbers, why he is a good pitcher. Good pitchers versus the Minnesota Twins are 23-3. And they're on a 12-game win streak out there. Good pitching, top of the order, top of the rotation, top pitching staffs are crushing this Minnesota Twins team, especially given the fact that those bats are struggling to meet the mustard. I think it's a great opportunity to get them boys and them Kansas City's Chiefs. Jesus. The Kansas City Royals. And it's a double up for me spot there. I think they get the job done throughout the length of this thing as well. I expect them to be up pretty comfortably through this first 5 and then just kind of coast and let the bullpen do their thing to close the door. That's going to be the way I attack this Kansas City game here. Joe T says, Shota's going to not win. He's going to get hit, Mikey. Well, they got to play the game, Joe T. I'm going to hang on to my ticket if it's okay. We'll see what happens. Keith says, Lugo is the next coming of Cy Young this year. Wow. I totally agree. I think he's playing phenomenal ball. That's going to be that should be a fun game. I think that, historically we see these are lower scoring spots with this Twins and Kansas City team. But, I wish I could say that this was that situation from the money line spot where we went from, we talked about this the other day, the 8.5s to 7.5s and the 4.5s to 3.5s. Keep our eyes on those, but that's not one of the, I kind of expected that to be the case. This number just opened up too low to get there. And, the fact is, with all that cash coming in on the over, it still hasn't moved to the over. Going to be a tricky spot to get it done, but we're going to get it done with Kansas City. We're double dipping these Royals. Let's roll on. Next game on the docket. Let's see if we can't get this order corrected here as well. 7:40, another 7:40 spot for us. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Chicago White Sox here in an interesting little spot. This is going to be the first time I've added this play to the arsenal. We've got this Toronto Blue Jays team opened up at minus 188. It's moved to minus 195. We have 85% of the bets. We have 97% of the cash on the Toronto Blue Jays. Then we look at the total, and surprisingly, 63% of the bets and 60% of the cash now are on this over. Just got a refreshed update there. Money pouring in on the over. Very similar situation, though, to that Minnesota Twins game. The 8.5, there's now 8s out there, and the under 8 is minus 102. I have a feeling it's because Manoah is probably going to go out there and deal. Sexy Flexy, Chris Flexen's got a 5.69 ERA on the season. He's 2-4, not getting the run support. The White Sox are struggling, and then some. And then we look at Manoah, 3.97 ERA. He's not getting the run support either with a 1-2 record on the season. But, we cashed that over yesterday. We've been dialed in when it comes to the spot with this White Sox team and how to crush them. That Nistrini opportunities, we've been taking the first 5 overs. The Blue Jays have had their number and then some. They're now trying to close. They're looking for their 3rd win of the series, trying to bounce back after Detroit paddled their bottoms. And I don't know that they bounce back in this spot here. I told you, I think I'm early to the party for the regression with these Blue Jays. Maybe I'll be eating my words here, but what I will say, again, over that past 7-day window, the Toronto Blue Jays have the league-leading 3.75 OBA. Flexen, he's been getting scorched recently as well. This is that perfect each of the games that we've kind of profiled and talked about tonight have had a lot of things in common. Either the pitching staff's been playing tremendous and they're fading against a fading offense, or conversely, in this case, the batting staff has been playing phenomenal, league best, and we're trying to kind of isolate those pitchers that have been throwing up their garbage out there. Then we look at this thing and, you look at the Blue Jays' first 5, the 2.5. I was going to go back to the 2.5, but the number is kind of weird. It's like a minus 105 spot for the first 5 over 2.5. I think that should have been minus 120, to be honest with you. When I saw that number and I started looking at the total, as far as these numbers are concerned, I thought, you know what? Let me stretch it out a little bit more. So I added this one here. The first play to it is the team total over 3.5 in the first 7. This is priced more in line with where I expected it at minus 110. We're going to go and we're going to hope that we get into some of this bullpen too, the early bullpen factors out there, because the bullpens have been getting beat up for this White Sox team as well. So not only do we have a strong batting staff, a suspect sexy flexy out there, we're stretching this out to take advantage of an overworked bullpen who's got an over 5.53 ERA in this past 7 days as well. I think all signs point to this being an opportunity. Why did I stop at the 7? Because I don't want to get to the 4.5. I don't want the Blue Jays in a 4.5 spot. Like, if this is a 4-1 win type of game, there's just not enough heart and soul. But what I did notice from my line movement index here is the Toronto team total first 7, it opened at even money. It was a plus 100 opportunity. It's now moved to minus 110. So there is some cash coming in. There is some steam coming in on this particular situation with this team total over 3.5. And at minus 110, I still feel the value's there. Again, we're trying to kind of pick on the weak links here. And I think Sexy Flexi and the first run through this bullpen are going to be just that. So Toronto, team total, first 7 innings over 3.5. And I like that too, because I don't want to see the closer from a White Sox perspective end up coming out here and dealing. And I've just seen that enough from, the Toronto Blue Jay staff. So a pretty specific strategic way that I'm trying to attack this strength in batting versus the weakness in pitching staff when it comes to that White Sox. Toronto, first 5, team total over 3.5. In and out. I could care less who wins that game. Just give me some runs from them Jays. Hey, if they get it in the first 5, they get 4 in the first 5, I'm taking it and I'll be satisfied and happy with it. So no sweat, no foul there, but let's roll on. I see some comments in the chat. Let me see what you guys are up to in here. Oldie says, Trisha M., I need to tie a few days together. I'm kind of struggling with MLB. Head above water, but need to run out of ink again. Absolutely. That's the nature of the beast there. We take some swings, we find some opportunities, and then we get a day like yesterday where we stack up 8.5 units or almost 9 units on the cart. So that's the way it goes, Oldie. We got to be there. We got to have bullets. It's a sprint and a marathon out there. Let's roll. Gerald Jones says White Sox on 0-6 on homestand out there. They stink. They're terrible. They're just bad. But are they going to be bad forever? I don't know. And now we're in that second quarter of the season. I expected him to put up more of a performance against this Blue Jays team, but the Blue Jays bats are just hitting too hard right now. JP says, yeah, I can't pass up on that plus money on the Red Sox out there. And Oldie says, Beavis, pay it forward, blood in, blood out. He's telling you. Kenny Woods, is that Mike M? What book is the Toronto bet on? That's DraftKings. So if you're going to go and you're going to play that, go into the innings section. I don't know where you would find it on all these books, but I would look at the innings section. You go into baseball, pick your game, go into innings, and then you got to scroll way the fuck on down. So in the innings, they usually break it up. You see your first 5 innings, you'll see the run lines, the total runs. Then they give you the first 3. Then you'll see the first 7 scores. But then if you keep rolling on down, keep going down past the runs by inning, keep rolling on down, then you'll start to see the team total runs. Toronto first 3 over 1.5 is plus 100. Here's where I was saying it's suspect. It's actually dropped now to minus 105. I'm glad we double checked this here. But Toronto Blue Jays team total first 5 innings over 2.5 is plus 105. I don't know that Sexy Flex is going to go out there and deal, but it kind of tells me he is. Then we see the over 3.5 for the first 7 is minus 105. So great question. Always happy to tell you guys where I can find some of these spots out there. Just kind of scrubbing the books, looking for the line movement, looking for the index and the alerts that I get throughout the day that are telling me where the steam is coming in. And I think that's a good opportunity for us to take advantage. So it's now minus 105. It's come back a little bit, but I'm plenty fine with it. As I said, it opened up today at plus 100. Stephen Hairston in the house. Good to see you, Stephen. Hairston says, I'm on the Washington money line, the Astros money line, the Yankees under, and the Rockies over the total. And then says, what you think about that Houston-Seattle game? I think that if that total ends up with Seattle being a favorite, minus 110 or better, you got to take Seattle. I know it's a Houston spot, and Verlander's the guy that comes in there to play the stopgap for them, and he's certainly been able to deal up some wins when they need them. But the home favorites, when the total is a 7, I think are 39-12 or 49-12 maybe was the number. I don't have it exactly in front of me, but I know that home team on a 7 is not to be fucked with. And speaking of that tremendous trend, the San Diego Padres, the Fathers, were a home favorite on a 7, and they got touched up. To me, yeah, stats are due for regression, but when we're on such a strong run, well over that 60-70% mark, if you got 2 spots and one of them took the L already, there's no such thing as a lock. But goddamn, that's got to be close. I don't know. We'll see what happens as that game moves forward. I didn't get to it. It's not part of the card and the action for me tonight, guys, simply because I'm looking specifically for how that's going to, how that's going to manifest itself as we move through this card. So let's go. I've got 2 more baseball plays for you guys to talk about here, and we've got a ribeye alert right now. Let's go. Atlanta Braves, Washington Nationals, 7:20. That's why I said I screwed up the order. 7:20 p.m. action here. The Nationals and the Braves. The Nationals open up as plus 138 dogs. Now they're plus 130. Cash coming in on the Braves. 84% of the bets and 79% of the cash all over them Atlanta Braves. Of course, we know the deal. We saw Acuna, the non-contact injury. That's definitely a scary situation. The league's best now to sitting there. Half his knees probably hanging out. He's probably in middle surgery right now. Anyways, the line opened up at 8.5, and it's sitting at 8.5. In fact, just like the other games today, we're starting to see some 8s out there now. Every one of these games has got some weird line movement, reverse line movement on the total. 79% of the bets and 78% of the cash on this over. Schwellenbach for the Atlanta Braves. I don't know what to expect from this guy, but I know Mackenzie Gore is a guy that we can count on here with a 3.04 ERA. He's 3-4 on the season because the Nationals started off shit in the bed. But what have the Nationals done as of late? Well, they're finding some W's out there. And look, a pretty solid game that first game off the hop, 8-4. They lost this last game 2-0. But things are wide open. And now what we know is when we got a dog on a losing streak, which is, one game's a losing streak. When we have a dog on a losing streak, but the starter had that quality start. We just talked about this trend yesterday. It cashed for us yesterday. It's 23-3. The average margin is almost 2.5 runs per game. It's a nat spot for me. It's a nat spot for me at plus 130 for the bounce back with this Braves team jostling their lineup around, trying to figure out how they're going to replace the Acuna situation that's going on out there. And I told you guys I got a little ribby alert for you. Let me just double check and see exactly where we're at here when it comes to this RBI opportunity tonight. Albies, I gave it out there on Jimmy the Bag Show. Albies is now down to plus 180. So it was plus 190 this morning. It's gone down to plus 185. Now it's plus 180 over there on DraftKings. In fact, it's dropping again to plus 176. Get it while it's hot right now with this Albies guy. Here's the thing. They moved him up in the order. He's the guy that they fingered as the solution to take care of the Ronald Acuna injury right now. We look at the Braves bats. We talked about him. They hit in clusters and they fuck up in bunches, and they do it collectively as a whole. But what I know about Albies here is he crushes left-handed pitching. He hits a 341 and a 182 ISO against the lefties this season. And he's already shown he can beat up Gore. He's already hit him 2 for 7 lifetime. He's got a homer. And he's got a 720 expected slugging number out there. Also, you look at his confidence and his success rate this year, despite being in the bottom or closer to the bottom of the order for the majority of the first quarter of this season, he's still got a 38% run rate out there, knocking runs in, which is impressive considering Atlanta hasn't hit their team total for shit this season. That used to be the automatic play last year. You know, we heard about Ozuna. We know what he was doing. We know that there's a lot of guys that should be capable of going and getting the job done. Austin Riley, Olsen's another one, Ozuna, Darnaud. But I'm going to Albies here, and this thing is getting steamed. So 185 this morning has dropped down to plus 180. I'm sorry, 185 this morning has dropped down to plus 176. And opposite side of where I expect it to be, because I do expect the bounce back situation. The Dogs on the losing streak with the qualified starter coming back in there, which is going to be Mackenzie Gore. Double dipper for that Nats game. Last game on the MLB card for you guys. Some of you have already talked about it. I like it. I'm involved with this Yankees game. The Yankees and the Angels for me. We're going back to old reliable here when it comes to this one, though, and I'm going to try to pitch and isolate this pitching staff. This Yankees team opened at minus 196. They moved to minus 200. We have 85% of the bets on the Yankees, but we only have 42% of the cash on the Yankees. So bigger cash is coming in on these LA Angels right now. Then we look at this total again, 50-50. 50-50 pretty much across the board, both bets and cash, and the total hasn't moved. So they got the number pegged right where they want to. And we see that we've got a little reverse movement now against these Yankees. Obviously, it's heel. He should be able to go there. 2.11 ERA, 6-1 on the season. Pretty phenomenal numbers for this guy. And then on the other side, this pile of shit, and Anderson with a 2.52 ERA, surprisingly. But through 9 starts, he's 5-4. Things fall apart for this guy, and they can certainly do it in a flash. And I was looking at this Angels lineup. I don't know. I don't like what's happening from the Yankees number. Some of you guys are very bullish on this Yankees team, and I get it. I totally see why. In fact, I can give you guys some great numbers behind where it makes sense to get into this Yankees game here. Let me find them here. Let me pull them up. Let's see what we have here on the fly. Road teams off a loss where they blew the lead. You guys know the deal. Pissed off. They just fucked up, and now they're trying to come back. 57-15 in those spots. If they were off a game as a dog, they're 35-4. And in this case here, this is that spot, road team off the loss, 57-15. 57-15, both straight up and on the run line for what that's worth. So I could see why the Yankees minus 1.5 would certainly be appealing. Maybe it's a parlay piece. Maybe it's a combination of things, but I'm on the Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5. It's been good to me. These bats have been hitting. I know these bats kind of got cold the last couple of days. Look, they closed out a series that they were doing what they were doing, and they close it out. They start the series off against the Angels. They're kind of sluggish as well. I'll give them that little break. They're not going to hit 800 every single day, but when you look at these numbers now, we're down to even money. Even money. I know this is a little bit different than what we talked about with that Blue Jay staff, but why is it even money out there? This total is definitely in flux. This total's in peril. This doesn't make sense with what's going on with this cash coming in on the over. I think what it's suggesting is that these Angels bats are going to shut down. That's why I'm not going for the full game over. That's why I'm not taking the first 5 over. I just need 3 runs from these Yankees in the first 5 innings. It's been good to us, and it's even money. We're going to get a tremendous ROI on that if we keep playing those plays throughout the course of the Major League Baseball season. That's the way we get that cash, everybody. Hit that thumbs up button if you're just getting in here. Guys, thumbs up, smash it. Let's go. Help me out. Help us out. Help us grow this thing and get her rolling. Let's go. Dustin says the Dodgers are up 4-3. I saw that. Coin says locked in Washington money line at plus 135 at South Point. That's a great number on there, my guy. Keith says good luck, Trisha M. Cash, the homer prop. And Justin McCalvey says Astros minus 103 is in his pocket. Yankees over 4.5 for the team total in his pocket as well. Wants the full game, not just that isolated first 5. I get it. I don't think this is a great pitching spot for Anderson. But anyhow, Trisha M says, thanks, Keith. I need 2 points in Dodgers to cash my delicious parlay. Then I can buy my own ribeye and grill alongside OCB. Let's go out there. Let's get it done, you guys. JP, he says, Doyers should bring another run this inning. Oh, man. Let's go. Let's get it done, you guys. Last thing that we're going to talk about tonight here, 2 WNBA spots. We got ourselves a trend and in a situation that doesn't make sense. Let's look at these numbers. Let's get in there. Both 7 o'clock starts. So time is of the essence. At least take a look at these things, or maybe you can think about live betting. But the first game I looked at was this Dream and Mystic spot here. And we got a line that started at 5.5 for this Atlanta Dream. Some say are going to win the championship. I think Justin McCalvey said that yesterday, the Atlanta Dream viable championship opportunity. They're going to have to beat them Aces, formidable back-to-back champions out there. This line's got 73% of the bets on the Mystic. It's gone from plus 5.5. There's now 2.5s out there. So we got a 3-point movement in some cases. And I know our guy was just talking about that juggler 23. Then we look at this total. This total has gone from 162.5 to 164.5. We have 50% of the bets. Now we have 99% of the cash on the under. That's the direction I'm rolling with this game here specifically. The trend on this one for you guys, it's the bounce back spot. The inconsistency of the WNBA has created consistency for us in being able to get that cash. The under 164.5. Two things that are going on. One, taking advantage of the after effect of the line movement. So it's moved those 2 points. Now we kind of felt like we found that ceiling in the 164.5. But that instability or the lack of continuity with overs and running on trends right now is a 56% rate. If the games go over that previous game, 56% of the time they go under the following game. It's not a huge edge out there, but I do like the fact that I'm catching more points in the factor. And this Mystics team stinks. They're fucking 0-6. They're not going to, maybe they do come out there and jump up and get this game, but I just don't see them pushing the pace enough for this Atlanta team that should be able to go out there and handle it. They're just not scoring 68 points, 75 points, 69 points. What are the Dream going to go out there and put up 100? This game might feel this sails under this 164.5. It's my first play of the WNBA. And then we've got another 7 o'clock spot here, just keeping things moving. Brisk pace for you guys. I'm looking at this Mercury and Liberty spot, and I'm almost identical concept or theory when it comes to how I want to attack this Mercury and Liberty team out there. We look at these totals. 13.5 has moved to 14.5 for this Mercury team. 54% of the bets and 84% of the cash. Think the Liberty smash. Then we look at this total. This thing has sailed. 63% of the bets and 90% of the cash have gone and moved this thing from 167.5 to 173.5. Stupid line movement in this thing here. The Mercury are pushing this team like this number here. They're getting all those points for a reason. I think they're going to get busted up. Not only are they going to get busted up, the challenge I see here is I don't think they're going to push that pace for the Liberty. And this team total, because this line has moved so much, the numbers have blown this thing out. The Liberty team total is now 93.5. It's minus 125, so there's a little juice on it here. But, you look at the end of it for this thing here. What did the Mercury 70-47 road loss to the Connecticut Sun. They got busted up and they stopped scoring. The Sun just didn't score anymore. You look at the Sun's performances, they're very capable of putting up 90, 95. We already saw them do that against the Indiana Fever when we had the Caitlin Clark opening game situation there. After getting crushed, I think you got to go out there and play some defense for very least. You can't let them go out there and blast you. And when I talk about how are they going to go out there and perform, they're just not scoring. We talked about this before. The Mercury shoot more three-pointers than any of this WNBA basketball. But what crushed them the other day? They went 1 for 27 from outside the three-point line. That's terrible. Now we're looking at this thing here, and we see this 92.5 moved to 93.5 spot out there. I'm not buying it. Not only that, but the Phoenix Mercury also do maintain this. They shoot a lot of three balls, but they're kind of passing it around, and they if you look at their points per possession, they allow 7 fewer points per 100 possessions than that Indiana Fever team that went out there and handled this Liberty and kept that score down. So I think it's a bad spot when it comes down to not only for this Phoenix Mercury team. Now, would I be surprised? The Dogs have been not just covering, but winning outright in the WNBA as of late. I think 14.5 is probably a good number for this Mercury team, but I don't see the Liberty going out there and putting up 100 spot on these girls. 3-3 are this Mercury team. I think they're going to try to go out there and D up after having such a paltry performance at 70-47 against the Connecticut Sun the previous day. Team total under 93.5, minus 125 for me. Going to be how I close up the card in the WNBA. So unders off and over are great spots for the WNBA. Historically, we see 56% of the time they're zigzagging around when it comes to those totals, and I just expect this Liberty number, the number from the irrational move for this team total going over, or I should say the full game moving over, has left me to take this team total, saying this has moved as well. It's correlated with the movement on the total, and now I think that's too high as well. So team total under for us in the WNBA, guys. That's going to do it. We're just short of 7 o'clock for everybody to get out there and get those bets in. Appreciate you guys coming in here. If you haven't done so already, please hit that thumbs up button. Show the support for the crew. We're all working hard to give you guys our best winners here morning, noon, and night. And all we ask you guys to do is give us the thumbs up and let them know you're making that cash. It's all right up here. Appreciate you guys. Trisha M, Beavis, Nunya, Jeffy D, Nasty Nate out there in the house. The mechanic is in show. Kelly V, appreciate you. Gerald Jones, JPZ, Justin McKelvey, Coin, Keith, David Wallace. You guys are great. Tarek B's in the house, my guy. It's good to see you. Old E says, let's go get it done, you guys. And then let's do just that. Shout out again to my guy T. Keeping it tight and right, keeping us rolling in the right direction, you guys. Get that money tonight. Stay popping, baby. See you guys tomorrow.